gets underway when Zachariah Makokue of Randfontein Estates Gold Mine leads the field up Cowie's Hill, 17 kilometers from the start. Zachariah hails from the same club as Springbok cross-country runner Kenny Jacobs. Is he hoping at this early stage to emulate his teammates' string of exciting wins over the shorter distances? The second bunch is led by Bruce Matthews of Varsity Old Boys in Cape Town, determined not to lose contact with the early leader. Here are some of the danger men for Fordyce's title. Chris Reinecker, the tough ultra-distance runner from Nelspruit, who finished third in the 1984 down run. He paces at Bruce Matthews' shoulder, while Gordon Shaw of East London lurks in the background. He's the strongest contender among this bunch, having finished second to Fordyce in the 1983 up run. Also in the group are Villiers Oberholzer of Germiston Callies and Hosea Charlie of Johannesburg Harriers, fourth in last year's down run, but grimly determined to have a full go at winning this year's up run. Zachariah holds on to his lead entering Pinetown, 21 kilometers from the start. But the pursuing bunch are closing the gap fast. They glide along the old main road and make contact with the Randfontein runner Bruce Matthews, offering a friendly smack in passing. This is the true spirit of Comrades. There's nothing wrong with a friendly exchange, even in intense competition up front. The Pinetown Flats lure the runners into a quicker pace, but Fields Hill, a steep climb which takes the competitors from 366 meters above sea level to 518 meters, forms a menacing backdrop in the distance. The leading bunch approaches the foot of Fields Hill. Matthews, Yama, Oberholzer and Shaw are running relaxed. They say that Fields Hill sorts the men out from the boys. Matthews and Yama have already made a strong attack on the leading bunch and surge strongly up the steep incline. The rest of the runners are now strung out behind them. But there's still a long way to go. The intense pace these runners are setting now is certain to take its toll at their running muscles in the later stages of the race. The proven method at this point is to be cautious, running at least 5 beats off one's usual running pace. It's imperative, while running up Fields Hill, to have loads of energy in the bank. There are still 64 kilometers to go.
White man against black man in South Africa, and it's a shame he doesn't get a fair go, the black man, in a lot of other areas over there, but that's a great sight, Maxie.
In hill, Gibbo, you run up that big hill. It's a bit like the early days training for football, mate. It's just not an easy thing, is it? The old heartburn starts to creep up around the Adam's apple, and I suppose in a race like this, 88 kilometres, you get the 50-kilometre mark and you'd be just running on your stomach. Your legs would be taking such a battery, and just to finish would be an incredible performance. Yeah, well, as we saw, Colin Houston wasn't even running on his stomach. He was crawling on his stomach at the finish last year, and we'll be back later this afternoon with more of the Comrades Marathon in South Africa.
The pack surrounding Fordyce has been whittled down to 8 men, with Van Staden, Tobojani, Biggs and Graham Fraser going well and looking relaxed. Sifiwe Gwele, running his first Comrades, but rated as a strong contender for a win after his third consecutive Two Oceans win, is running a clever race at this stage, tucked in at the back of the pack. Fordyce, looking confident, well in control of the situation. Fordyce is pushing the pace now. The little champion said afterwards that at this stage, because of the lack of seconding, he didn't know how many runners were ahead of him or what their lead was. The intelligence system he set up in previous Comrades wins was foiled this time by the efforts taken by the Comrades organizers to keep seconds off the Comrades route to prevent congestion. Bruce Matthews pushes ahead of Aaron Yama at Waters Hill. Cape Town runner is perhaps racing a little too fast before even reaching the halfway mark. He insisted afterwards that he wanted to run his own race and go out hard, no matter what the consequences might be. Fordyce, Biggs and Tobojani make visual contact for the first time with the leaders. They pick up the pace to make contact. Oberholzer holds on to second place, determined to stay in the reckoning for a gold medal. The Calais runner showing a surprising form for this distance. He excelled at the shorter distances up to 3 years ago, then took a lengthy layoff from competition. His clubmates have always considered him to be too large for a good Comrades runner, but he's certainly using his strength to good effect today. Oberholzer and Hosea Charlie are among the leaders through Drummond and up Mchanga Hill, while the bulk of the field move through Waters Hill a good 8 kilometers behind. Fordyce now spearheads the move on Matthews and Oberholzer up Mchanga. Charlie has taken the lead meanwhile, and he's holding on grimly. Hosea Charlie, pursued by a group of young well-wishers just outside Cato Ridge. He has a very awkward running style, but don't let it fool you. Fordyce is now exactly where he was hoping to be. With 34 kilometers to go, the only runners keeping contact with him are Charlie and Biggs. Fordyce makes use of the seconding facilities which he complained about after the race. The runners had to carry their own sponges and dip them into water tanks at the refreshment points. However, they were placed too low, and Fordyce found that the continual bending to wet his sponge affected his back muscles. The defending champion had started cramping as far back as Waters Hill, but he's not going to let his opposition know that with 30 kilometers to go.
Comrades.